Hi, Scully here. I like the look of the silk flowers that are being sold now for paper arts projects such as scrapbooking, cards, other paper projects. And I don't like the fact that I have to buy a bottle full of the same color or color family, because I don't really like using the same thing on a whole bunch of projects. I like to be able to make my own in some way and have the ability to coordinate it to my project instead of having to coordinate my project to an embellishment. So I'm going to show you how to make a flower embellishment similar to those silk flower embellishments out of paper using a paper punch or a cutout paper flower. And here is a sample of an ATC that I did with one of these on it. So let's go over to the craft table and I'll show you how. Alright, here's hoping everything's visible and the light's bright enough. All you need for this is something to make your flower shape. I'm using an EK Success paper punch, paper punch of a 1-inch flower. You can use the punch of your choice. You can use a flower that you've cut out from a template yourself. It should work either way. You also need a bone folder or something to assist you in getting a nice score onto the petals. I'm using a Pro Craft paper cutter that has a groove on it where the cutter runs, and I'm going to use that to help me get my little score. Optional things for embellishing the center of the flower: brads, beads, buttons, anything you can think of. One last thing that you may want to have is just a hole punch, normal round hole punch, to punch the center of the flower for getting a brad through. So here's how you do it. I've already punched a few shapes. You just plain paper punch, and then all you have to do is go to your cutting board, and I'm going to move this over a little bit so it's centered a bit more, and you can see a little bit better. Alright, now you just take and line one of the petals up with the center of the petal going across the groove, and on this one I'm using the indentation between the two petals to help me line it up. Now I take my bone folder, line it up. I'm going to go from the center of the flower in that groove all the way to almost the point of the petal. And let's see if I can get it to where it's visible. Okay, so I'm going to go like that. I'm going to turn. I'm going to do that same thing on each of the petals. So line it up, score it slightly. You're not pushing all the way through the paper. Line it up, score it, line it up, score it, and last petal, line it up and score it. Now you're going to take, and where all of those little scoring lines are, you're going to slightly fold that petal inwards to give it that 3D shape. You don't really want a sharp fold, and if you don't get it quite right, you can fudge it. So that one wasn't lined up quite where I wanted it to because I've got a camera in the way. But that's pretty much all there is to it. Once you've done that, you can glue a button to the center of it. You can push a brad through it. That's where the hole punch comes in handy. So, for instance, I will line this up, punch a small hole right in the center, and then pull it out. We've got that, and I'll grab a brad, push it through that hole. And this one didn't line up too well because, there we go. See that? And then you fix it to whatever project you're using. And you can use any kind of light paper that's going to be kind of easy to get a nice fold. I wouldn't use heavy cardstock. Just a normal text weight paper would be good. So there's that one. Here's a couple others that I did. This is a little bit heavier paper, but it didn't actually turn out too bad. I like the dimensionality you can get with that. Here's a couple more with that same punch. This one I've just got a button laying in the middle of it so you can get an idea of how it looks. Here's another one with a brad. And then here's one with a different punched flower. I'm not as big of a fan of it, but it actually didn't look too bad. So, like I said, you can do it with any punch, and I hope that was useful to you. Thanks!